Hey guys, BBJ here. Gonna be covering what I said earlier today. I'm gonna cover Brett Cooper, and then I'm also gonna cover the Megan Kelly, Matt Walsh talk. And I don't normally want to cover these people. I'm kind of really detesting them more and more. But we have to do this. As you know, Tucker Carlson had Nick Fuentes on his show. Fuentes is over the moon about it. But let's just get on with this video. She is former Daily Wire work. She used to work at the Daily Wire. She had a very popular show. She's left the Daily Wire, and now she's batting for Nick Fuentes apparently. But let's just see what she says. By the look of her, I can tell that that voice of hers is going to really annoy me. Look at her. Ready? Let's go.
So the Republican Jewish Coalition Conference happened this weekend, and watching all of those speeches literally made me feel like we are living in the middle of a sitcom. But it's worse. It shouldn't be funny. It's not funny because these Republicans are using the exact same tactics that the left has been using against us for years. And they believe that they are saving conservatism, and they're worried about what they perceive.
Yeah, she's talking very fast, but that's fine. Looks like she's giving birth right now. She's talking about the Jewish coalition, the Republican Jewish coalition, Republican Jews, of which Mark Levin is a member, and many other prominent Jews are in the Republican Party. She's saying they've been using this against us for years. Who exactly? Brett Cooper, who are you talking about? They're Republicans like you. I assume you're a Republican. I assume you're a Republican.
As radical, dangerous ideas taking over conservatism in our political party, but it really just seems to me like they are deepening the divide on the right as they ignore the obvious shift in ideology and attitudes of their base. Because you can scream all you want about Tucker Carlson, but you will never attack him into irrelevance. In fact, by doing so, you might just make people love him more.
It certainly hasn't worked for me, Brett Cooper. Let me just straight set this out. She's defending the fact that Tucker Carlson brought Nick Fuentes on his show, platformed him on his show. Now, Tucker Carlson will bring on whoever he wants. He's brought on more. This is just a drop in the ocean, in my personal opinion. He's brought on shitloads of bad actors and has refused to actually ask them hard questions. But my problem here is this woman. Oh God, look at her. She's basically saying, first of the red flag I got there was, oh, they've been using this against us. They're Republican Jews. They're part of your party. She's talking about the fact that there's anti-Semitism rising on the far right. That's infecting the conservative movement, of which Nick Fuentes is a part of, but one part of it. He's not the only one. And Carlson's had on many anti-Israel from the left and from the right. This is not something that just happened. This guy's been bringing on more and more. He's been testing the waters, and finally he stepped over the line when he brought a neo-Nazi on his fucking platform and didn't question him, didn't even push back against him. This was clearly a platforming. But oh God, look at her. She's not actually that attractive. People say she's hot. I don't know. I don't know what I see there. She looks like an idiot and naive. And she used to do stuff about women's wear and all shit. Like, oh, she reached the young Generation Z chicks. This is her contribution to the fucking... And now she's out defending Nazis. I mean, really, she is. Let's carry on. Let's hear more what she says.
New York, everyone. I am coming to you live from my hotel room, so if you hear taxis and sirens in the background...
Who gives a shit? Just get on with it.
This is a very interesting and unique, kind of exciting week to be in New York City, because obviously the mayoral election is happening today, as we speak, because it is Tuesday. So if you have not gone out and voted yet and you live in New York City, please go do so. Also, if you are in Jersey, go vote, because you guys might be flipping red. If you elect a Republican governor, which it seems like you are very close to doing, that would be incredible. So Pause.
Why would you want to elect a Republican? You're defending Nazis here. This guy, the guy who they elected, Mandani, he's won. In his opening statement, said that this is for the Palestinians, or something to that effect. Why would you be against him, Brett Cooper? You're out defending people like Nick Fuentes who think the same thing. Why do you want a Republican governor? Or a mayor in fucking, or governor or whatever in New York? You should be batting for Mandani. This is how fucked up it is. This is how fucked up it's gotten now. You've got this little bimbo running around who knows nothing about anything to do with politics. I'm sorry. Giving her 50 cents worth into the matter. She has no clue what she's talking about. Sorry, I'm going to get fucking... This really pissed me off. Because I've had it with these fucking people. Put something against. Just hang on, guys. I just want to make sure this thing stays. Here we go. Sorry. I've had it. Sorry, I've had it with these fucking people and their nonsense. Ugh. Carry on, bitch.
This video, go vote if you have not done so, then come back and we can keep talking about the
fuck
insanity
off.
that just took place at this Republican Jewish Coalition event. But first, I wanted you guys to hear that message of unity because that's important. So go vote, do your civic duty. You can elect all the Republican presidents you want, but if you want change in your community, in your city, you need to go out and vote. All right, moving on from that, let's dive into this because this event that happened last weekend...
She seems way too excited to be talking about this. Why do I feel like I'm looking at some school, like some glitter girl talking about pom-poms? Just... Okay.
It very quickly just became the anti-Tucker Carlson conference. I mean, look at these signs that they had printed out that attendees were holding up in front of the stage. They say, Tucker is not MAGA. These were the people walking around the event, standing in front of the speakers, holding up these signs. But it didn't just stop with the signs. Basically, every single speaker that got up on stage either directly called out Tucker Carlson or alluded to his impact in the conservative movement. And one of the loudest voices was Mark Levin, who decided that actually he's changed his mind. And when it comes to Tucker Carlson, he does like cancel culture. Let's just take a watch.
Hitler admirers, Stalin admirers, Jew haters, American haters, Churchill haters. You're damn right we're going to cancel them and deplatform them. It's called the market system.
Exactly. It's called the market. He didn't say he's going to cancel him by telling people to get him off the air. And by the way, Snow White, have you seen... Look at that stupid... Oh, God, she's annoying. Have you seen what Tucker Carlson's been doing? Do you have any clue? You bimbo? About to pop one in the oven, about to pop one out for us? And infect that child with all your stupid fucking... Mark Levin has been at the forefront. He called out Carlson a long time ago. Carlson's been having on fucking... It's a difference in... No, it's anti-Semitism that's rising in your conservative movement, my sweetheart. Have you seen the amount of Jews that have been... The Jews that got gunned? Do you have any clue about that whatsoever outside of your hotel room? You fucking bitch. Fuck, I hate these people. Go.
They don't have a lifetime job like a bureaucrat.
No, they don't.
We're going to protect. And if they're your friend, there's something wrong with you. No Hitler admirer,
something wrong with you.
Holocaust denier, platformer should be anybody's friend, as a matter of fact.
Very good. All lost on this, Carl. Doesn't... Talking about you.
Covering your car and home from bumper bashings to broken windows.
Shut up.
You don't get to rap your psychotic, mental,
Look at his stupid face.
Nazi, Klan, jihadist bullshit around American patriotism.
Well said. But going right through over the head of this chick.
You're MAGA and America first you're lining up with the Marxists and the Islamists and Hamas and the terrorists.
Exactly.
That's not America first. That's sick.
Okay, so as a reminder, this event happened, all of these speeches have taken place on the heels of Tucker's interview with Nick Fuentes. So that is what Mark is talking about here. That is what Mark is alluding to when he says, you know, people who platform XYZ people like Nick Fuentes. And I'm so glad, Mark, that you are finally just being open, that you are telling everyone how inconsistent and hypocritical you are, that your values only apply to the left. Because let's just unpack everything we just heard in that 1-minute clip. First of all, you think that the market system is canceling people and deplatforming people who you disagree with. Not even people who you disagree with. You believe in canceling and deplatforming people who platform people that you do not like. That is truly insane.
Wait a second. It's not about just not people you do not like. The guy's a fucking neo-Nazi. Tucker Carlson platformed a neo-Nazi. Not only that, Tucker Carlson has platformed a nun with a moustache from Israel. Well, not in Israel. She lives in the Palestinian areas, who lied through her teeth about abuse of Christians. Tucker Carlson's had on Glenn Greenwald. By the way, loves wearing maids' outfits and being dominated by black men. He made a video of it. Debauched individual. Has a venomous tongue for Israel. A Jew. But that's neither here nor there. What does that matter? He's platformed Holocaust revisionists. He's platformed people like Ian Carroll, who just as Charlie Kirk, the bullet hadn't even gone through his throat, he was saying Israel did it. This is who Tucker Carlson's platforming, sweetheart. Yet you have the fucking gall with your pregnant belly to come and lecture Mark Levin. If you have a problem with Mark Levin, Brett Cooper, why don't you debate him? I'm sure he'd be more than happy to set it up. Huh? You want to defend people like Tucker Carlson, who bring on neo-Nazis and anti-Semites? With the purpose of fucking trying to change the MAGA movement, which he's doing, and you're playing right along. By the way, have you ever asked, where's Tucker's thing on Qatar? His association with Qatar? What about that? These are questions that need to be asked before you open your stupid goddamn mouth. Oh my god, looks like she's taking one in the fucking mouth. Jizz.
Goes against all of the principles, what I believe to be the principles of conservatism. You think that we should
Nazism, the principles of conservatism? Really? Saying that he despises every Christian Zionist more than anything in the world. That's conservatism? Really? My God. Have we fallen this far? My God in heaven. We have come to this we have come to the place where we have a girl of, how old is she? What? 22 or something? She's probably never lived a full life. Defending Nazism. Nick Fuentes. And he's just one that Tucker's associated with. Now, gave this guy a platform. He's on his show. Oh, he's loving the attention. He's loving it. He's now in. He's in the club. This is going to destroy this movement. Turning Point USA, if they don't do anything about this, it's going to destroy Turning Point USA. He's on the board, Tucker Carlson. He gives speeches at Turning Point USA. If I understand Erica Kirk is grieving, I get it. But the other guy, his right-hand guy, is also very now involved in running this movement. Needs to boot Carlson off the Turning Point USA board. Absolutely. Tucker Carlson is palling around with some really dodgy, dangerous people. There are Jews that are part of Turning Point USA. Not many anymore. When Kirk decided to let Carlson spew all that vitriol because he was so childish, instead of being a man and saying, hey, what is Tucker Carlson actually saying? Didn't bother with that. No, it's fine. Carlson can get up there and say whatever he wants. free speech. So the Jewish donors and the Jewish people that are part of Turning Point, so we're not going to be part of this. And they got up and walked out. And the donors pulled their money, and he threw a hissy fit about it. I'm sorry. When you bring on people like Nick Fuentes, who was an avowed Nazi, you're defending us? My God. These people need to be taken out of our ranks, excommunicated. Absolutely. Go start your own fucking movement with people like Nick Fuentes. But this will destroy the Republican Party. I'm telling you right now.
Bureaucrats, did you hear that?
Shut the fuck up. This will destroy the Republican Party if they don't deal with this right now and start condemning Tucker Carlson. J.D. Vance needs to come out against Tucker Carlson. The man he had on his platform was calling his wife, who's an Indian woman, was insulting his wife and his children. And this was before Carlson had him on his show. Either Carlson is being told to do this by some higher power, namely, I don't know, influences from Qatar. Don't tell me this guy isn't running flat for Qatar. I believe he is. This is throwing the Republican Party into absolute disarray. They're divided now on Israel. You think that's happened by organic? No, this is a fucking psyop. This guy's been asked to do this. Tucker Carlson, and maybe other influencers, but certainly Carlson. He is one of the biggest conservatives in the conservative movement, and he was quite happy to run flat for Qatar. And look what it's done. Let me be clear: Israel's going to be fine. America, not too sure. In fact, I say to people like Mark Levin, Mark, think about moving to Israel. These Jews in America, maybe you should think about starting your life in Israel again, going to Israel, because this is not good. This is not good. Oh God, she's not that attractive. She's about a 5. But no, I'll be generous, 7. She's got a schnoz on her, but.
You're not a bureaucrat who we are going to protect? That's insane. And also, who are you to be deciding who can be part of MAGA? I mean, that's just so ironic.
I don't know.
In fact, that Mark Levin
Neo-Nazis?
was one of the leaders and one of the loudest voices of the Never Trump movement that started way back in 2015. And now, here he is, 10 years later, trying to gatekeep the movement because he doesn't like a few people and a few very loud voices. Now,
he doesn't like Nazis. What's that? Are you blind, deaf, or have you never seen what Nick... Let's see what Nick Fuentes says. Okay. Let's see what Nick Fuentes says. I've got him right here. Fuentes, let's see.
Hey folks, I want to do something different on today's show.
Here we go.
We're going to cover
Listen to this.
Female sex. But probably you can weigh thinking that for the most part, Fuentes lives on the radical edge of normality.
Listen to this.
You think
this
that
is who this woman's
the
defending.
Because Tucker Carlson decided that it was important not only to host Fuentes, but to smooth over his views, water them down, and make them far more palatable to a normal audience. As we'll discuss in a bit, this is what Tucker Carlson does for a living. But, back to Nick Fuentes. To understand just what Tucker did here, we must actually examine what Nick Fuentes says on his show, and has said for almost...
Let me just see here. Sorry guys, I just want to get the right...
Okay. Almost a decade. Because he was asked precisely 0 questions about any of what you're about to see by Tucker Carlson. Nick Fuentes says women want to be raped.
A lot of women want to be raped.
That's the fucking ridiculous earphones he's got.
That sounds bad.
Like he's directing flight traffic.
But there's like a lot of women that really want a guy to beat the shit out of them.
Beat the shit out of them.
But also they have to pretend, but part of it is they have to pretend like they don't.
Nick Fuentes says that his followers should kill, rape, and die in his name.
Raise your right hand. All right, everybody raise your right hand. Raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I will kill, rape, and die for Nicholas J. Fuentes.
Nick Fuentes says that women are whores who shouldn't be in politics.
I will continue my crusade against women in politics. It's always like this, and it's so ironic. Women are like, I don't like, when you say, I like it, you have to affect the face. When you say to
Isn't he
repeal
gay
the
or something?
19th Amendment,
Queer or
that
something?
offends me. That hurts my feelings. It's like, have you ever stopped and considered that maybe if you get offended, there's such a strong emotional reaction to political...
God, he's got a face that fucking Mother Teresa would punch. This little turd. He's like, you know, he's like the typical artist. He's like this, you know, from some Bond movie. A little gremlin. You know, if you hit a woman, you know, she wants you to do it. She likes it. He's got this... He's a fucking turd. Just like Hitler was. Hitler was small and short and inferior, but when he had a platform, man, did he speak. This little turd. Who's going to die for this fucking asshole? Yeah, women want to be beaten. They're all whores. He's like literally a cartoon version of a villain. With his little tie and he's like, God, I'll hang you with that fucking tie, you little bitch. Carry on.
Opinions you disagree with?
Disagree with?
Maybe that's one of the reasons why you should be making political decisions. I'm not attacking women. I'm attacking whores. You have no problems, right? I'm
You hear that, Britt Cooper?
I'm attacking sluts, stupid, dirty bitches.
Nick Fuentes says that Jim Crow was actually better for black people.
It was better for them too, number one, but number two, who cares? Who cares? You know, enough with the Jim Crow stuff. Who cares?
Who cares?
Oh, to drink out of a different water fountain. Big fucking deal. Oh no, they had to go to a different school. Their water fountain in that famous picture was worse. Who cares? Grow up, drink out of the fucking water fountain. It's just water, it's the same. You know, and, you know, even if it was bad, who cares? Who cares? It's better. It's better in general. We all agree it's better for them. It's better for us. It's better in general.
Nick Fuentes says that white people are justified in being racist.
Reason that we talk about this, by the way, I know a lot of black people see this and they go, man, why are you always talking about black people, this and that? Because there just needs to be some shame here. Well, there's a few reasons. First, white people are every single bit justified in being racist. Every single bit justified, to the extent that that means going out of your way to avoid black people when you see them.
Nick Fuentes is a Hitler admirer and a Holocaust denier.
Buddy, it's Führer Friday. It is Hitler Friday. Shut up. It is Heil Hitler Friday, nigga. Heil Hitler, all my niggas Nazis. Hitler was a pedophile and kind of a pagan. It's like, well, he was also really fucking cool. So, you know, time to grow up. We're not children anymore, am I right?
You look like a child.
Am I right, boys? Am I right? Let's go.
Looks like a
He was
12-year-old.
also really fucking cool.
He looks like 12
It
years
doesn't
old.
really sound correct to me. Wait a second. Takes 1 hour to cook
Nice
a batch
hairdo,
of cookies,
douchebag.
and you have 15 ovens, probably in 4 different kitchens, right? Doing 24 hours a day every day.
Look
for
at his
5
face.
years.
He
How long
can't
would it
keep the
take
grin off
you
his
to make
face.
$6 million? I don't know. It certainly wouldn't be 5 years, right? The math doesn't seem to add up there. The math doesn't quite seem to add up there. I don't think you'd result in 6 million. Maybe 200 to 300,000 cookies. And I think the Red Cookie Association said something like that, probably 200 to 300,000 cookies baked, probably. And in addition, you know, in this hypothetical, I imagine that if you took aerial photographs over the kitchens, you would need to see certain smokestacks to release the smoke from baking the cookies, and the smokestacks would project certain shadows, but I guess they're not visible in the aerial photographs taken over the kitchens. Moreover, if you look at the soil texture, it's really not deep enough for mass cookie storage underground.
Nick Fuentes believes that the Jews start all the wars, that
Oh, yeah,
perfidious Jews in positions of power ought to be killed, and says the Jews are filth who have to be removed from the country.
And once again, remember who is responsible for it all. The Jews. They are responsible for every war in the world. It's not even debatable at this point. This has nothing to do with oil. This has nothing to do with democracy. This has nothing to do with liberal internationalism. We are at war with Iran because they pose a threat to Israel's hegemony. That's why we're bombing their nukes, to pave the way for regime change so Israel can dominate the region, because that makes them the most powerful they can be.
Oh, is that why? Oh, is that why? Okay. Of course, Israel wants to bomb, and then, they want to take over the world. All you fucking assholes did was bomb nuclear sites. That's all you did. You didn't go to war. Israel did all the heavy lifting. Took out their command. They replaced the commanders that they took them out to. They creamed Iran. You had nothing to do with it other than dropping those bombs on those sites. That's all you fucking did, Nick Fuentes. And don't say, well, I don't want to get in a war with Iran. But you're not. No one's going to force you to go and serve in Iran, you little douchebag. These Yanks, they fucking carry on like they're personally going to have to go fight in Iran. Get the fuck out of here. Israel did all the heavy lifting. Everything. They took out Iran's everything they had. They took it out. And this little bitch is complaining. By the way, let's carry on because I want to get back to Brett Cooper.
There is an occult element.
Oh, he's got a turd under his nose.
At the high levels of society.
He looks like a drunk 12-year-old.
So many of the people that are perpetrating the lies and the destruction on the country, they are evildoers. They are people that worship false gods. They are people that practice.
Who the hell are you to decide he worships false gods?
Whatever. And more than anything, those people need to be, when we take power, they need to be given the death penalty.
Wow.
Straight up.
Jeez.
And I'm far more concerned about that than I am about even non-white people or mass migration. These people that are communing with demons and engaging in this sort of witchcraft and stuff, and these people that are suppressing the name Christ and suppressing Christianity,
who was a Jew, by the way,
they must be absolutely annihilated when we take power. This is God's country. This is Jesus' country. This is not the domain of
a Jew. Wait, let me get this straight. So he wants, it's Jesus' country, an Orthodox Jew's country. You just can't get away from it. You worship a Jew. By the way, he's a Catholic, right? Every time this douchebag says Hail Mary, he's hailing a Jewish woman. Isn't that ironic? Every time this schmuck says Hail Mary for whatever reason, he's giving thanks to a Jewish woman. Jesus' country. This is Jesus' country, an Orthodox Jew. These fucking assholes, really. I mean, maybe Israel put him out there and are paying him to do this. I don't know. This is so ridiculous. Maybe Israel's behind paying Tuck. I don't know. This seems so ridiculous. Oh God, carry on, douchebag.
Perfidious Jews. This is Christ's country.
Josh Hammer and Mark Levin.
Josh Hammer.
Fuck these people. Deeply, seriously. All real Americans, if you are a real American, if you were born
are you
in
Native
this country,
American? Oh, by the way, aren't you Fuentes? Isn't that Mexican? You're not a real American. You probably came in through the border illegally. It's probably an anchor baby. Fuentes. That's not European white. What the hell is he doing? I suppose, well, Hitler wasn't German. He was Austrian. I don't know. The parallels are crazy. Anyway, carry on.
You are what you are. If you are a real American that loves this country, you have generations in this country, your family or you fought for this flag, fought for the Constitution, fought for our church, fought for our civilization. For all of you, I say about Josh Hammer and Mark Levin and Laura Loomer, fuck them. Fuck them. Deeply, seriously get them the fuck out of our country.
Nick Fuentes, it should be mentioned, despises Donald Trump and the MAGA movement as well.
Fuck you. Fuck you. You suck. You are fat. You are a joke. You are stupid. You are not funny. You are not as smart as you think
like
you
you
are. You are, and honestly, and if you watch my show, you know I've been very critical. I've never been this far. This just goes to show this entire thing has been a scam. When we look back on the history of populism in America, we are going to look back on the MAGA
I don't want to
movement.
hear your fucking bullshit. Let's get to the CARLSON. Yeah, CARLSON. Okay, let's get to CARLSON. Oh, sorry.
Even become one of his most ardent defenders.
Listen to this.
It is so much nicer than any city in my country.
Oh.
I had no idea. My father spent a lot of time there in the 80s when he worked for the U.S. government and barely had electricity. And now it is so much cleaner and safer and prettier aesthetically. It's architecture, it's food, it's service than any country, city in the United States that you have to, and this is not ideological.
You're talking about Russia.
Happen? How did that happen? And at a certain point, I don't think the average person cares as much about abstractions as about the concrete reality of his life. And if you can't use your subway, for example, as many people are afraid to in New York City because it's too dangerous, you have to sort of wonder, isn't that the ultimate measure of leadership? And that's true. By the way, it's radicalizing for an American to go to Moscow. I didn't know that. I've learned it this week. To Singapore, to Tokyo, to Dubai and Abu Dhabi. Because these cities, no matter how we're told they're run and on what principles they're run, are wonderful places to live.
What about if you're a slave, like in Qatar? Because the rich live well. CARLSON will be treated well. But your average person in Abu Dhabi or whatever the hell, Qatar and places like that, are slaves. What's he playing at you? If anybody from his days at Fox are following him now, then you are fucking stupid. I'm sorry. This guy is a shrill. Absolutely. Whether he's getting paid or not, I don't know. But he's certainly shrilling for Qatar and the Arab nations, saying they're great countries. These are countries that have no human rights. Literally import slaves. Russia, where he did this propaganda piece. Russians earn $200 a week. He was carrying on about how much it cost. Oh, it cost me nothing. Yeah. Ask the average Russian how they feel about living in Russia, you fucking dildo. Let's see what else he says.
And you get it back when you put the cart back.
Wow.
So it's free, but there's an incentive to return it and not just bring it to your homeless encampment. I went from amused to legitimately angry. So we were guessing what this would cost. Everybody here is from the United States buys groceries, and we didn't pay any attention to costs as we were just putting in the cart what we would actually eat over a week. And we all came in around $400, about $400.
Amazing. Yeah.
It was $104 US here. And that's when you start to realize that ideology maybe doesn't matter as much as you thought. Corruption. If you take people's standard of living and you tank it through filth and crime and inflation, and they literally can't buy the groceries they want, at that point, maybe it matters less what you say or whether you're a good person or a bad person. You're wrecking people's lives in their country, and that's what our leaders have done to us.
Oh my God.
When Tucker Carlson interviewed Vladimir Putin, by the way, Vladimir Putin was so amused by Tucker Carlson's easy questioning that he actually mocked him. Tucker Carlson has massaged the Iranian dictatorship and admitted to not asking any difficult questions of the president of that dictatorship.
The interview is limited by a couple of factors. One, it was done by remote through a translator. That's always awkward. For another, I don't speak Persian. And there are all kinds of questions that I didn't ask the president of Iran, particularly questions to which I knew I could not get an honest answer.
Oh,
such as,
so you don't just ask them?
was your nuclear program totally disabled by the bombing campaign by the U.S. government a week and a half ago?
Oh,
There's no chance he's going to answer that question honestly.
How do you know that, douchebag?
The answer, in fact, from an American perspective, even from the CIA's perspective, is unknowable.
Tucker bizarrely worships at the altar of Qatar.
They're mad at you because you don't put your parents in some institution. Maybe they're trying to break up your families.
Well, it can be a reason. Honestly, I don't know.
Got a fucking tea set on his head.
What is really the purpose behind this? But we see that.
Okay, I think you get the idea. Okay, he's interviewing fucking Effendi over here. Let's go back to our dear, darling little bitch going after Mark Levin. Now that's who she's defending. Think about it. This is what this little bitch is defending. Carry on.
I genuinely do
By
not
the way, Daily Watch, stop hiring women. Because this is now the second fucking tragedy that's come out of this. Please, stop it.
If you hate Tucker, you have every right to. You are absolutely free to dislike him, to speak out against him, all of that. But your position is majorly weakened, and you become a laughingstock, to be honest,
really?
If you are willing to compromise all of your stated principles, the principles that you have held for decades
What
at this
principles?
point, and demand that somebody be canceled because you hate
That's
him.
not what he said. Marketplace. He didn't say he was going to cancel him. That the marketplace will decide. Because the guy's going so fucking kooky. That's what he said, you little bitch. You're the one misrepresenting facts here. And you're the one defending Nazis and fucking Tucker Carlson, anti-Semites like Tucker Carlson. You're the one fucking doing that.
Or because you hate somebody that he has put on his platform. And that is exactly what Mark Levin is doing here. I mean, he literally wrote a book on the power and importance of free speech and fighting back against cancel culture. In that book, he said, and I quote, free speech is a requisite to all other freedoms. It is also how individuals in society...
Yes, and he hasn't changed his position. That's not what he said. He said that the marketplace will decide. And hatred, that's a bit of a strong word. No, they don't like people like Nick Fuentes, who's a neo-Nazi. And Carlson bringing on all these... He's dedicated half of his shows to Israel and the Jews. He lies about the Christians in Israel. He lies about the situation happening in Gaza. He's a lying shrill. And you're defending him. Go and look at what he says. If you agree with that shit, then fine. But do you honestly expect me to believe, Miss Cosmopolitan for the Generation Z, that fucking Carlson bringing on people that are vehemently anti-Semitic, communists, and neo-Nazis is okay with you? I don't buy it. Carry on.
Learn, reform, improve, progress, etc. It is how governments are held to account or adjust to the will of the people. That's what he wrote. That is what Mark Levin wrote in his book. And also, this is what he said on his show just a month ago. This is what he quoted.
We have got to the point where literally anybody can build a fully working app without
God,
knowing how to
unemployed
code. This is Base 44. This is a first look at the current industry-leading AI
Shut the
app.
fuck up, douchebag. Get him.
About free speech.
Free speech is crucial to countering the government and those in power. It is crucial to sharing information and making decisions as a people, as a collective, we about our society. I've written about it often, including in On Power. I have an entire chapter on language and speech. Every true patriot should believe in it and defend it, period.
Okay, so every true patriot should be defending free speech, Mark? Is that what you're saying? I mean, come on, like, this is so incredibly hypocritical. I mean, it would have been far more powerful and far more consistent if you, Mark Levin, had gotten up on stage and said, look, I disagree with everything that Tucker is doing. You could even say, I, Mark Levin, hate Tucker Carlson, but he also has a right to say and do everything he's doing, and I guess that means we're...
That's what he said. He didn't say he agrees or he doesn't like Tucker Carlson, but he never said he's going to deplatform him. He said the marketplace will. You're just putting words in his mouth, sweetheart. Why? Why you got such a hard-on for fucking Tucker Carlson? Is he the father of your child? Or Nick Fuentes? Why you got such a passion for Nick Fuentes? That's disturbing to me. No one shut that interview down. Tucker Carlson had him on. No one came in there and took the mic away from Nick Fuentes or Tucker Carlson. They're criticizing him because he brought on a fucking neo-Nazi and normalized him. As I've shown you what this guy's been saying. Free speech, free speech. You know what? There's good speech and there's bad speech. What Tucker Carlson is doing is not good. That doesn't mean no one shut him down. He can talk his bullshit all he wants. No one is threatening to shut the fucker down. But we have a right, free speech, to criticize him and say things about him that we don't like him. And we don't like where he's going. And we don't like him. We don't appreciate him bringing on fucking neo-Nazis and trying to incorporate him into the conservative movement, which Fuentes, by the way, is celebrating on his platform. That he's been normalized. Are you prepared? I don't know. I'm not going to call you anti-Semitic or anything. I don't know you enough to say that. I'm not one to just call people anti-Semitic. But hang on a second. If you know who Nick Fuentes is and what he's been saying, you would have a problem with him being welcomed into the conservative movement. They've hijacked TPUSA. I don't think that organization's going to go on if it carries on like this. That guy's legacy is going to be destroyed. Charlie Kirk would have died for nothing. And he has, I have to say this, and I understand the man is dead, but he had a role in this, Kirk, by bringing on Tucker Carlson, by ignoring his donors saying, why are you bringing this guy on? He's been saying crazy shit. And instead of taking the mature way and saying, hang on, let's have a look at what he's been saying. No, I'm just going to spite you. I'm going to bring them on anyway. Now look what's happened. You've got a fucking neo-Nazi being platformed, possibly going to be, I guarantee you, if the people at TPUSA who are in charge there do not do something about Tucker Carlson and this kind of shit, that organization is finished. It's finished.
We're just going to have to work harder to...
Shut up, bitch.
I disagree with everything that Tucker is doing. You could even say, I, Mark Levin, hate Tucker Carlson, but he also has a right to say and do everything he's doing. And I guess that means we're just going to have to work harder to win and bring people back to our side. And here's how we're going to do it. You are not solutions-oriented. You are not freedom-oriented. Your response was simply to wag fingers and demand that somebody you don't like be deplatformed. That is what the left does. That is not what we do. And yet Mark Levin and basically every speaker who took the stage spent all of their time during their speeches attacking Tucker and by proxy his audience and anybody who was questioning America's relationship with Israel or the blanket labels of anti-Semitism. Like the label that I really care about right now is product of the USA, and thankfully I don't have to worry about that with Good Ranchers. Because I used to think that I knew what I was buying.
I'm not going to put your advertising on here. I only care about it's an American. Hang on. This guy's a neo-Nazi. Tucker Carlson put him on his platform, didn't ask any hard questions, let him spew his venom. Now, unless you agree with Nick Fuentes and his positions, questioning our tribe, that's not what he was doing. He has called Israel a demonic state. He has called it the devil's land. Not to mention the fact that anti-Semitism has risen 1,000% to American Jews. So it's not just about you, bitch. American Jews who were born in America who have contributed more than your fucking ilk has ever. I don't know what fucking place she originally comes from, or her parents or whatever, or her ancestors or whatever. But the Jews have contributed more to America than any ethnic group. Any ethnic group. And the minute, I don't get it. Your ally. Israel's supposed to be your ally. Okay? I don't see how they've jeopardized America at all. Unless you're a fucking loony like Nick Fuentes and his ilk. And others like him. Who claim the Jews are responsible for all the wars, are responsible for everything wrong in Nick Fuentes' life, and everything. You want to defend that? You want to say, oh, Tucker has a right to... No one stopped Tucker Carlson from bringing this douchebag on his show. No one stopped him. But he had him on. And why did he have him on? Didn't have him on there to to debate. No, he had him on there to fucking boost him. And he succeeded. Pat yourself on the back. But what the price could be is your country, where people like this will not be given a platform. He doesn't believe this woman should be speaking, according to Nick Fuentes. How interesting. That's same as Qatar and Arab nations. They don't consider women equal. But you're defending them for free speech. God, I wish you get what you want. You better hope to God you don't get what you want, sweetheart. Because if you do, I'll play this for you and show you what you said. You were quite happy to defend Tucker Carlson. You were quite happy to stand in there for him and wave his flag while he was platforming neo-Nazis, Islamists. Let me ask you this. If Carlson has on, say, I don't know, the head of Al-Qaeda, how will you feel about that?
Grocery store until I learned that over 85% of grass-fed beef
I don't care what you learn. You've learned nothing.
Now is a perfect time
you
to
don't know fucking shit. How long is this ad? God, really likes fucking... Really likes beef.
Number 819382. Now back to the story and back to our good friend Mark Levin. Later in his speech, Mark also made sure to emphasize that it wasn't just about Tucker and the people that he was platforming. It was about all of us who, like Tucker, are in his audience, and anybody who shares these ideas.
That's your first problem.
What you think your stupid little podcast, or your stupid little subscription program, or your little TV show,
yeah,
maybe you have a little radio show, is going to change the world like hell it is.
I mean, thankfully for us, Mark just said the quiet part out loud. They're doing all of this. They're freaking out because of how popular and impactful Tucker is.
No, they're freaking out because he's platforming a neo-Nazi. That's why they're freaking out, sweetheart. Or have you never studied history? Are you this naive? Carlson had him on. And he's being rightly chastised for it. He's been rightly, suitably chastised. These people have every right, considering their history and what has happened to them in the years gone by. You, my dear, have no clue what you're talking about. You are dangerous, not Mark Levin. Mark Levin is shouting from the rooftops. He's setting off the flare. And we're seeing exactly where all these people stand. Remember where this woman was when this happened. Don't forget her fucking face. Don't forget where she stood. I've had it with these people. Jewish people are being gunned down in the streets. Their synagogues are being burnt to the ground. They're being attacked in the streets. They can't even walk out wearing their Jewish symbols. But Tucker Carlson has free speech. Okay. You know what? I really believe this. These people are so ungrateful. They treat their allies like shit. Israel, pull the plug on them. Take away your intelligence. You can buy weapons from someone else and improve on them. One thing about Israelis, they know how to improve on weapons. They know how to build weapons. Take it away from the Americans. They don't deserve it. If this is the kind of people that are influencing their young people, let me explain something to you, sweetheart. You are sitting in a hotel room in, I think, New York or something. What are the Israeli women doing? Flying sorties over Iran, tracking down terrorists, Mossad agents, women, going and taking out terrorists that would possibly kill you in your country. That's what they're doing. What are you doing? Defending a Nazi? The young Israeli people are the most incredible people on planet Earth. Look at what the American youth are doing, who they're listening to. Accomplished nothing. Contributed nothing. Oh, I got a camera and I can talk about women and na. Fuck you. You have no idea what you're talking about. Israeli people, they stood up and showed what they do. They fought for their country. You people wouldn't fight for your country. Brett Cooper would never go and fight for her country.
Little podcast, your little subscription.
Yeah, you are a little podcast. You're a little pain in the neck. And if your husband doesn't smack you around, I don't know what the fuck. Man, I wouldn't be married to a fucking bitch like this. My point is this. What are the Israeli youth doing? Fighting for their country. Dying for their country. Doing incredible operations that their military would only dream about. That's what they do. Don't tell me there's no envy here. You've got Israelis doing incredible operations that no one can believe. And here sits this thing in her hotel room where it just fell to a Muslim communist. America's in deep trouble. Deep trouble. Carry on.
But dude, Tucker right now is the #1 podcaster in the world. He is neck and neck with Joe Rogan.
But hang on a second. Why is he the number one? Is it possible that 2.2... How many Muslims are there in the world? They follow Tucker. In fact, they said it's about soon he's going to convert. So he's got a lot of Muslim countries watching his stuff. A lot of Qataris are tuning into Tucker Carlson. I can guarantee it. A lot of towel heads. 2.2 billion. Of course he's going to get up there. And Joe Rogan, I don't know about him. I don't really care. He's also a douchebag as far as I'm concerned. But that's probably why he's #1. When you have terrorist organizations backing you and when you have terrorist states backing you, you get a lot of views. Same with Candace Owens. Of course. Of course they do. Anyway, I've had enough of this bitch. I think we gathered where she's coming from and how stupid she really is. Let's go to Megyn Kelly and Matt Walsh, who also I can't fucking stand anymore. Just listen to this fucking douchebaggery of note. Bye. Nice thing about this is I can actually turn you fucking off. Let's go to... Where's that one? Oh, there they are. Porting so many migrants. Whatever. Is she talking to this douchebag? Matt Walsh. Let's just say Matt Walsh. Matt. Oh, she had Glenn Greenwald on. Oh, trans reality. Is that all you got? Here we go. Listen to this.
Unfortunately, there's a war unfolding on the
Are you surprised?
People you and I both love. And our pal Ben and our pal Tucker are not getting along. They haven't been getting along a long time.
Yeah.
I saw a very interesting discussion you guys on the Daily Wire did about it with the whole crew there, kind of talking about what was happening on the right and whether people needed to be excommunicated from the right. Well, this all exploded into the public forum even more over the past few days because last week Tucker hosted Nick Fuentes, who is, I mean, an open white nationalist. He said extremely racist things.
Yeah.
It's kind of his bread and butter, and anti-Semitic things. And not like the kind that's now the flavor for some, where it's like if you say anything about Israel, you're considered an anti-Semite. Genuinely anti-Semitic things. I mean, he's questioned whether 6 million...
Hang on a second. That is a very small group that do that. And a lot of them say they don't... When this happened to... Charlie Kirk came out and they said, look, we do not support these people are wrong. Didn't choose to focus on the good thing. Chose to focus on that. Why? Why? Why focus on the negative when there's so much positivity? Well, I'll tell you why. It's for clicks. It's for money. It all comes down to dollars and cents at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen. That's what it's about. Don't think that they got this vitriol for people like Nick Fuentes, okay? Or Tucker Carlson, who'd screw you over in a second. Because that's what he does.
Jews actually died in the Holocaust. He's praised Hitler.
That's the least of his fucking
he
crimes.
called, this is an anti-Semitic, but he called J.D. Vance's wife Usha a Jeet, which I didn't even know what that was, but I know enough to know it's not a compliment. It sounds like a racial slur. We could be here all day.
Racial
Tucker
slur?
put him on, I think because Tucker puts on a lot of provocative people. He interviewed the president of Iran. He interviewed Vladimir Putin. He interviewed Andrew Tate. He's not afraid of, like, quote, platforming people who are controversial. And also Tucker and Nick Fuentes have been going at it themselves.
Hang on a second. Controversial? No, the problem is, sweetheart, it's not about him bringing these people on. It's about the fact that he doesn't push back. That's the problem. That's the problem. He doesn't push back. He lets them speak ad nauseum. When I saw that thing with any of his guests, I'm surprised they don't get a room afterwards. And he fucks them in the ass. That's not what he does. He doesn't debate these people. He doesn't push back. He lets them spew. That's the problem. And you not recognize it says more about you than it does about Tucker Carlson and Matt Walsh. That's what he does. Don't tell me this guy didn't bring him on to boost his fucking credibility. Fucking idiots.
For quite some time, and I think he thought it might be interesting to just have him on and have it out. Which he did.
He didn't.
Then he came under fire by a lot of people for...
He didn't have it out with Nick Fuentes. He let Nick Fuentes spew. And agreed with him mostly. Doesn't it... Let me ask you this question. You just said... Or she just gave a whole list of what Nick Fuentes stands for and what he says. Does it not concern you, sweetheart, bimbo, that your friend has brought... let's forget about the rest for now. Let's just focus on Fuentes. Brought a guy who is an avowed neo-Nazi, who celebrates Hitler Week or whatever the fuck. Talks about the Jews as being this and that, and they start all the wars. You're quite happy that your friend, platform, you bring him on tour with you. You'll bring him on tour with you. Because I don't agree with everything he said. No. There's a point where you say, this guy's fucking, what you're doing is wrong. You're normalizing hatred. Why won't they call them out? Is it got to do with money? Are they afraid that they might lose viewership? Is that the reason? You're quite happy to throw the Jewish people under the bus? You're no friend of Israel's, Megyn Kelly. You're no friends of the Jews. Absolutely not. Because you're quite happy to stand back and not condemn what Tucker Carlson has done. And Nick Fuentes. If Tucker Carlson could have Hitler on his show and allowed him to spew, of course he would. Of course he would. You're fine with that? Really? My God. My God. I hope you lose viewership from this. I really do. I hope your entire YouTube thing crashes and burns when people see what a fraud you really are. I've had it with these people. I've had it. You're normalizing hatred. A hatred that goes back centuries. You're not the first to do it. Carry on.
Which you're not allegedly allowed to do. And one of the reasons I don't like Nick Fuentes is because years ago I saw him play a little video game in a clip that was circulating on XMAP in which a young man was running wearing a yarmulke and he was shooting this man in his video game, calling him Ben Shapiro. And it was really
Is
violent.
that the only thing that it's upset you, Megyn Kelly? I just played you a whole litany of what Nick Fuentes has been saying. That's the only thing that got you? Really? My God. My God. These people. Get this woman out of your fucking movement. She is a fake piece of shit. And at the same time, get Matt Walsh out too. This is disgusting. This is disgusting. I'm fucking pissed. Normalizing hatred. There is a group of people in your country that where the amount of hatred is written 1,000%. Don't tell me it's not because of people like Tucker Carlson. Don't tell me it's not because of people like Nick Fuentes, who you're willing to give a pass for free speech. America's done. It's going down. And now you are going against the Jews, and it never ends well for you people. It never ends well. If America wants to continue to be the superpower of the world, stop this shit. Stop it. You are going to destroy your country. I don't want America to fall. I think you're arrogant sons of bitches. I think you don't treat your allies very well. But I don't want you to go. I don't want China to take over the role. You continue with this, and that is what is actually going to happen. Actually going to happen. Carry on.
Stuff. So, Tucker came under criticism because it wasn't a confrontational interview. It was more like a Joe Rogan approach, you know, where you just kind of ask the guy how he feels, what he stands for, what he doesn't.
How he feels?
How it went.
I mean, as far as the Jews are concerned, I think that, like I said, you cannot actually divorce Israel and the neocons and all those things that you talk about from Jewishness. There's a deep religious affection for the state. It's bound up in their identity. The story of the Exodus from Egypt, the promise of the land, all these things. So, let's say in the United States, for example, somebody like a Sheldon Adelson, he's not Israeli. Is he an ideological neocon? Does he believe in the promise of democratic globalism? I don't think necessarily. His heart is in Israel.
So what's
and it's because he is a proud Jewish person. And I guess what I'm saying is that if you are a Jewish person in America, you're sort of, and again, it's not because they're born, but it's sort of a rational self-interest politically to say, I'm a minority. I'm a religious ethnic minority. This is not really my home. My ancestral home is in Israel. There's like a natural affinity that Jews have for Israel, and I would say on top of that, for the international Jewish community.
Sheldon Adelson, by the way, is dead. He died in 2021, but was a big donor, and his wife Miriam is now a big donor. Okay, so cue the internet pile on Tucker. Like, he's got to be excommunicated from the right because he hosted Nick Fuentes.
That's not the only thing he's done, sweetheart. He accused the Jews of killing Charlie Kirk. Yes, he did. He has platformed anti-Semites for the last year. That's not the only thing he did. And by the way, what the hell's your problem with the state of Israel for Jews having an affinity for the state of Israel? It's their homeland. Doesn't mean they're against America. Doesn't mean that. It's their homeland. Which every book and every synagogue speak about Israel and Jerusalem. What's wrong with that? You little turd. Doesn't mean Jewish people have less affinity. Mark Levin is the most patriotic American you could possibly find. And he stands with Israel because he's Jewish and because of the fact that Israel is a democracy. The only democracy. But that you have a problem with. Oh, do you, you little faggot? Who watches kiddie porn. We still haven't established whether he's gay or not. But the fact of the matter is so what? What's that got to do with you? It's got nothing to do with you, you little faggot. If they want to wave Israeli flags, they have every right to. Free speech, remember? Brett Cooper, weren't you banging on about that after your husband banged you into getting knocked up? She's about to spew out one of her litter. These people make me sick. And I really am now not part of this group. I'm standing with Mark Levin. I'm standing with my Jewish brothers and sisters. I have Jewish heritage. And I have an affinity for the land of Israel. I'm not as Jewish as Mark Levin. But I am connected. And I stand with the people of Israel. And their right to have their homeland. You fuckers colonized America. Remember that? You're not even originally from there. We've been in that land for 3,000 fucking years. Fucker. God, these people make me sick.
In the eyes of many, Kevin Roberts of the Heritage Foundation weighed in, backing Tucker, saying we don't cancel people for platforming.
Yeah, and he got suitably chastised for it.
And then a lot of people said it doesn't matter. Like, it's not about canceling Tucker. It's about ostracizing him. You know, sort of cutting him out of polite conversation.
Yes.
And then
I don't have a problem with that.
Ben's been attacked by Tucker. Tucker's attacked Ben. It's gone back and forth, back and forth. Ben did a whole show on this issue, and here's a little bit of how that sounded.
Americans hate Nick Fuentes' philosophy. They think it's trash. Republicans, by the polling, think it's trash. Independents think it's trash. Democrats think it's trash. And here's the entire life defending and advocating. That is a path to defeat and a path to moral oblivion. I reject it because if we lose the right, we will lose to the left. And either way, we'll lose the country.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, just quick programming note. Tomorrow, we have Tucker Carlson on our next leg of my tour, and the night after that, we have Ben Shapiro.
And why the fuck do you have
life defending and advocating? That is a path to defeat and a path to more. I reject it because if we lose the right, we will lose.
Okay, just quick programming note. Tomorrow, we have Tucker Carlson on our next leg of my tour.
Why? Why is he on your next leg of your tour? Why do you have that man on your tour? Is it because of friendship? Do you owe him money? Did you sleep with him? What is the story? Why are you allowing a man like Tucker Carlson with totally... And Ben Shapiro's on there too. Ben Shapiro should say, no, thank you. I'm not going to be a part of this. You should say that to Megyn Kelly. I'm not gonna go on a platform where you allowing a guy like Tucker Carlson on. I'm sorry. Principles. Yeah. That's principles too, Matt Walsh. He's going to talk about principles just now. Why are you having that man on your show? Why? Why? Praise Sharia law. Megyn Kelly. I thought you were a feminist. Apparently not that much of a feminist when it comes to loyalty. Praise the Taliban. Interviews people like, steps out and says that Qatar is America's greatest ally, but when it comes to Israel, what does that mean? You're in the shit. You want to cover for this guy? You don't want to confront him? You don't want to speak out against him?
And the night after that, we have Ben Shapiro, which is something I pride myself on, being a show where both of those guys could come and trying to do as little as possible to divide the right, which I think is a force for good in this world, unlike the left. However, this controversy is front and center on virtually every right-wing website there is, Matt, and you're right in the middle of it, as am I, in a way, both of us.
Yeah, so I'm sure you're raping in those
look, there's a
pesos
here, and I do find myself, and I know that you've caught plenty of flack also in a similar way.
No, she hasn't.
Being sort of in the middle of this, and it's, look, both of those guys, Ben Shapiro and Tucker Carlson, they're both friends of mine, as I know they are you, Megan.
And one is totally wrong.
I get this people on both sides that are constantly screaming in my ear, and it's been this way for a long time, but in particular over the last couple of weeks, and in particular over the last...
Sorry, hang on a second. As I don't think Ben Shapiro's been screaming in your ear. You had a debate with him where he said, look, we don't need to rally around our loonies. This guy wants to ignore all this and just focus on the left. Ignore the fact that Tucker Carlson brings on neo-Nazis. Ignore the fact that you've got people like other people that he's choosing to ignore on the right that are calling and saying some of the most disgusting things you can possibly imagine. Carry on, douchebag.
Demanding that I disavow, denounce one or the other of those guys.
Yeah.
And I'm just not going to do that.
Of course you're not.
It's not ever going to happen.
And that's why you're going to fail.
It's not ever going to happen. And
yeah, that's why you're going to fail, sir.
I agree with everything that either one of them say. No, I mean we don't have to agree on everything at all.
Yeah, you don't have to agree with him, but you do have standards, don't you? Don't you? If Tucker brought on the head of the KKK and let him talk, would you be fine with that? Maybe you would. What if he brought on the head of Al-Qaeda? What if he brought on Barack Obama and let him spew his bullshit? How? I said this in the earlier edition. I said, what does it take? What will it take for you two douchebags to actually say you've gone too far? What would it take? Is he that much of a friend to you, Matt Walsh? Are you sucking his dick that much? Or Megyn Kelly? I don't know about you, but if I'm a friend with someone and they start bringing on neo-Nazis and hanging out with neo-Nazis, I don't know, I'm going to have something to say about that, right? When I bring on people that claim that Israel's killing Christians or persecuting Christians, when I know that's not true, I'm going to have a problem with that. And I'm going to confront them. I've lost friends. I've lost friends. Because I don't agree with their worldview. And I wasn't horrible to them, but just said, look, and they broke off the friendship, by the way. This guy I'm talking about. But you can't even call this fucker out. You can't even say, look, what he's doing is wrong. I mean, Nick Fuentes, come on. Matt Walsh, would you have him on your show? Michael Knowles, will you have him on your show? Megyn Kelly, will you have Nick Fuentes on your show? Or any of these other of these, the nun with a moustache? Would you have them on your show? No, you wouldn't. Maybe out of spite you would, but that's what you do, because you're childish fucking people. Grow the fuck up. How old is Megyn Kelly? She must be almost 60. This is ridiculous. You can't, if you cannot call out evil, if you cannot see evil and call it out, then your movement is worth nothing and it should be destroyed. Because you are useless people. It's not about the truth. It's about money. It's about clicks. It's about hanging out with the best people in the business. You don't have the courage, yes, the courage to call out people like Tucker Carlson. Why? Why?
We can have disagreements. We should have disagreements. As you pointed out, Megan, we've talked about some of this stuff at the Daily Wire. Talked about it with Ben. We've had these debates in the open.
Disagreements like neo-Nazi. I mean, come on.
But when it comes to disavow, condemn, denounce, that's an entirely different thing, and I'm not going to do that.
Because you're a coward. That's why.
And I mean, it really is that simple. And you
Bulletproof.
can either respect that or not. I don't really care.
I don't care that you don't care. And by the way, you know what that tells me about you, Matt Walsh? That you're a fucking coward. You're a fucking coward. Absolutely. You don't have the balls. You'll go walk into a fucking transgender place and say, I'm a man or I'm a woman, and piss people off there. But you don't have the balls to call out your own side. You're a fucking coward. Absolutely. And I will not be watching anything you bring to the table as far as I'm concerned. If you cannot find clarity on this, I don't want to know anything else you have to say. I am not interested. Because you're a man who has shown who he is. When actual evil infiltrates your movement, you're not willing to call it out. I'm not going to do it. And I don't care if people don't care. Well, I don't care about you. I just think you should be a man and stand up for what's right. When you have a neo-Nazi on your platform spewing lies that are detrimental to the Jewish community, you can't even get up and say that's wrong? Is that what I'm hearing? Megyn Kelly? You cowardice? You people are cowards. What are the Israelis doing? They're taking out Hamas. They're taking out terrorists. What are these fucking douchebags doing in America? What are they doing? That's why I said I would take Israel's morality over America's any fucking day of the week. You don't even have an ounce of what Israel has as morality. You say you just support Israel. I support Israel, says Megyn Kelly. But when the rubber hits the road, no, you're bringing him on, giving him a platform. No, cancelling out everything he's done, everything he's said, accusing the Jews of killing Charlie Kirk. That's exactly what he fucking did. Going after Mark Levin, telling him people like Brett Cooper. When Mark Levin was involved in politics, Brett Cooper was a twinkle in her mother's eye. Okay? This is bullshit, man. Call out evil when you see it, even though it might be wrapped in your friend's face. My God.
Loyalty is a principle that is incredibly deeply important to me. And so when I hear the response, oh, but you need to stand on principle, well, loyalty is a principle. And to me, it's, as a man, it's one of the...
You know who else said loyalty was a principle, or certainly loyalty was the most important thing? The people at the Munich, at Nuremberg, the Nazis, blindly obeyed Hitler. Loyalty. What happened to them, Matt Walsh? You know the story. They all got hung for their loyalty. Loyalty is one thing, but when the person you're loyal to is bringing on neo-Nazis, that should question your loyalty to them, don't you think? When they're bringing on anti-Semites and speaking to Christians who are anti-Semites who live in the Palestinian areas where the Christians are being persecuted, you question your loyalty to that person. You call them out. Because that's the mature, sane thing to do. And from now on, anyone who watches this guy and takes him seriously should question everything he says. His agenda. Because he is not clarifying on actual evil in his midst. He refuses to call it out. He's made it very clear where he stands. And we should say, yes, you can join Tucker Carlson in another movement where you can carry on like a house on fire. But you're not going to be in our movement. You're not going to be in our movement because you don't see evil and call it out. You refuse to call it out because you're friends with him. You want to be a real friend to this fucking asshole? Why you want to be friends with him, I don't fucking know. But if you want to be friends with him, call him out. That's the best way to sort his sorry ass out, because he's going down a path that few come back from. He's engaging in anti-Semitism. Everyone can see it. Unless Matt Walsh hates the Jews too. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he does. I don't know.
The most important principles that you can hold. As a human being, it's one of the most important principles.
No, it's not.
And so, if there's someone who I know in person, like, this is not all just on Twitter. This is not, we're not just talking heads, talking to cameras. We're also, like, people. And we actually have lives outside of all of this stuff. And so if there's someone who I actually know, and I've sat down and had dinner with them, I've sat at their dinner table, I have their phone number, I can call them. You know, if I have a disagreement, I can call them privately and I can tell them and we can hash it out. Someone who's supported, someone who, someone like that. The idea that I would stand...
Have you called Tucker Carlson in private and told him what he's doing is crazy? Matt Walsh? Have you done that? I'll take that. I'll take that. Have you spoken to them in private? I don't have a problem with that. You don't want to air your dirty laundry out in public like Megyn Kelly and Charlie Kirk did a couple of months ago about Israel. I could take that. I'd bet my bottom dollar that he hasn't. I bet my bottom dollar he hasn't. And I know Matt Walsh is not, he doesn't care about Israel. He just cares about what happens in America. Have you seen, sir, what's going on in your own country? Have you seen, just from what Tucker Carlson has done with platforming this neo-Nazi, hateful young man, what it has caused in your movement? The leftists are jumping on this like fucking flies to shit. You got Eric Swalwell out there saying, look, we told you. Another thing, I just saw Stephen Crowder having a nice fireside chat with the likes of Myron Gaines. Cigar Week, or whatever the hell he calls it. Doesn't call him out for his blatant anti-Semitism. Doesn't say, hey, what are you doing? Why are you going after Israel? What has Israel ever done to you? Oh, you won't say that because it's not about, quite frankly, fuck them. Fuck them all. Fuck them all. Why should Israel be loyal to a country that spits on them at every fucking second they can? You've got a vice president that can't even challenge and say Israel is not committing a genocide. And Israel didn't control, Israel doesn't control this president. What the fuck? Fuck him. Fuck them. Tell them to get the fuck out. Get those generals in there. They've got a little group there. By the way, Israel doesn't allow America to have a base on there. They don't want the fucking Yanks in there. Israel. Don't. These people aren't your friends. I'm sorry. I hate to admit it. They are genuine people. Ted Cruz. Oh, I love Mark Levin, and most of the Jews in America support you. But you know what? America, why bother with them? They're destroying themselves. This is what's happening. Refusal to call out evil when you actually see it. Because of loyalty. Loyalty, huh?
And in public, and condemn and denounce and disavow is just totally anathema to me. I cannot do it. I won't ever do it.
Yeah.
Not to someone who's a friend. I won't. And when someone does that,
So let me get this straight. So if Tucker Carlson kills somebody, you're not going to tell the police? Let me hang on. I know it's a very far thing to say, but if Carlson killed somebody, let's use it. Carlson says in your presence when the cameras aren't rolling, and he says, "I fucking hate the Jews, I fucking hate Israel," are you gonna say, "Well, he's a friend"? Then your character is disgusting, Matt Walsh. I don't care how many trans people you expose. You are morally corrupt. Morally corrupt. And I want nothing to do with you or your platform. And I hope, it's sickening to me. It's sickening. Never again. Something people used to say all the time. And now when it actually says never again, the weasels come out. Oh, you're over-exaggerating. Oh, no, Tucker's my friend. Yeah. Happening again, guys. This is how it happened. This is how it happened. When it came to literally neighbors turning in their neighbors, who they were friends with, into the Nazis because they knew they were Jewish. Amazing. God's going to judge America, and it's not going to be pretty.
Has happened. I consider it to be just unforgivable treachery. That you, and I've had this happen to me where I say something and, you know, sure, people can disagree with it. I say a lot of things people can disagree with. But I'll have someone who I know personally and they have my phone number and they could just call me. But instead I go on Twitter and I see that they've issued this like denunciation. And it's like, dude, I just saw you a week ago. What's going on here? I consider that to be just treacherous. And I'm not going to do that to anybody else. I will just never.
Wow. No, you're an idiot.
That's the first thing. And the second thing also, and one of the reasons why I'm catching a lot of shit is that my stance has been that I want to focus our fire, metaphorically, on the left. That we are dealing with people who truly want us dead. And they just killed my friend.
Okay. I'm glad you brought that up. Does this moron know that Seth Dillon was threatened with death by a guy who followed, you guessed it, Candace Owens and other anti-Semitic, I can't remember all the rest, threatened to kill Seth Dillon. He was arrested and hopefully being charged with incitement to violence. And Josh Hammer has been threatened. So has Ben Shapiro. As Ben Shapiro pointed out on that podcast they had, I'm threatened from the right and the left. You're just being threatened by the left. I'm being threatened by the right and the left. So it's not just the left. People that really want to see us dead. This guy wanted to see Seth Dillon. What was his crime? That he supports... Oh, no, hang on a second. It was because of Candace Owens, a person you won't call out, Matt Walsh, or Megyn Kelly, that was saying that Seth Dillon and people that were close were involved in the murder of Charlie Kirk. That's why this guy was threatening to kill Seth Dillon and his family. So don't talk about violence just from the left. The left is fucked. And you know why they're fucked, Matt Walsh? Because they're doing exactly what you did. Circling the wagons around your extremists. Refusing to call out people like Nick Fuentes and Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens. Refusing to call out Myron Gaines and all these evil, evil people that have infiltrated the right. That's what happened. So don't talk to me about, oh, they want us dead. They want us dead. Yeah. And I'll tell you this. If God forbid that Seth Dillon was killed, the right will be celebrating his demise as much as the left in this instance. Why? Because he supports Israel. And Candace Owens has been right. When are we going to see that woman sued for defamation? She should be sued. Josh Hammer, you say you've got a case, bring it. And sue this woman. Because she is a danger that these fucking assholes don't want to call out.
Poor friend, Megan and Charlie, and they spent 2 months, they're still celebrating. Like dancing on his grave.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're dealing with. And that's where I want to focus. I mean, I think it was a day after Charlie was killed, I put out a tweet where I said this, where I said, look, I'm not focused. I know there are a lot of disputes and debates on the right, and I'm not saying that they're totally unimportant. But I want to put that all off to a different day. And right now, it's very clear who the enemies are. And
No.
the people who are trying to kill us and want us dead.
Hang on a second. No, it's not. It's actually very clear who the enemy is from the right and the left. Very clear. So. And you are enabling these people. You're refusing to call out your own side. And that is cowardice. That's what I call it. It's not what do you call it? Loyalty. It's cowardice. It's cowardice. That's what it is. And you should be ashamed of yourself. And Megyn Kelly. It's cowardice. Come on.
I want to focus on that. And I said that a day after Charlie was killed, and the response I got was wide agreements. I mean, there were a few people that were upset about it among conservatives, but it was almost like 98% approval to that sentiment a day after Charlie was killed. The tweet got like 150,000 likes or something like that. Well, I said the exact same thing only a month later. Just the exact same sentiment, almost verbatim. Certainly the same idea, and the reaction was...
Imagine bringing your side project to life just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
180 degrees the opposite, where rather than wide agreement, it was everybody screaming at me on both sides. Well, how dare you say that? How could you, assuming that I'm taking someone's side or the other side by saying that? And it's like, it's only a month later. I mean, have we already?
Tucker Carlson did a lot of damage in that month, my friend.
He lasted for 4 weeks? Really? And we just can't afford this right now. I mean, they just killed Charlie Kirk, one of our most important leaders.
Okay, I can't take this anymore. I think you get the idea. He said, I sent out the same tweet. Tucker Carlson had basically blamed the Jews. They'd been blaming Israel for the murder of Charlie Kirk. Candace Owens was running around with conspiracy theories and all this shit. So when Matt Walsh puts it out against us, our fights against the right. No. You've got fucking loonies in your fucking bin here, babe. That you refuse to call out. But you want to focus on the left? Yes, the left is there. But we know where they're coming from. You've got them in the house here, man. You've got people saying that Charlie Kirk was murdered by his wife. We don't need this right now. No. You need to clean up your fucking yard, dude. Either that or join them. Make your choice. Because if you're comfortable, you believe in loyalty, even though your friend is saying some of the most ridiculous shite, unproven, blasting at people, saying they're committing genocide, bringing on people that are morally corrupt, Matt Walsh. You're morally corrupt. And I don't want to hear any more what you have to say, sir. Go and hang out with Tucker Carlson all you fucking want. Go fly fishing with him, hang out in his cabin, do whatever the fuck you want. Suck his dick, I don't give a shit. But you are no friend of mine. You are not on my side. And I'm glad we get clarity. And I'm actually glad they did this, because now we know who the sick, infected people are in our ranks. And they need to be excommunicated. And when I say that, they need to be called out. Yes. They need to be shamed. There's nothing wrong with doing that. It's nothing offensive. There's no stopping his free. Tucker Carlson speaks. He loves the sound of his own fucking voice and demonic laugh. You go hang out with him. But you're not coming in our camp. You're not going to be hanging out with us. We reject you and what you say. You want to just fight the left? You've got the cancer is growing in your ranks. And you are refusing to call it out. Because of loyalty. No, he doesn't want to lose his viewership. Tucker Carlson's got a huge, that should speak volumes to the mentality of people. Though most of his viewership is probably from Islam, the Islamic people, who love him now. Okay. But I reject you and what you say, and I don't want anything to do with you. I don't want to hear your opinions on anything, sir. Anything. Anything. Or Megyn Kelly's. Because you are morally corrupt. And you're fucking cowards. That's what you are. and I have no respect for you. Anyway, I've gone way over an hour now. Okay, I'll be uploading this as soon as I can, guys. Guys, please send when you watch a video on my YouTube, please try and share it and encourage people to come to my YouTube channel. That's where I'm putting out all my stuff now. I lost my Facebook page. I don't know what happened, but they took it away, and I lost all my 6 years of hard work that I did was gone. It was very demoralizing, but I'm back, and please come to my YouTube channel, Postable Junkie. Just type in Postable Junkie and you'll get my channel and all my content, and please come and join and show me some love, you know. I'm trying to get this thing up and running now, so please come to my YouTube channel. Anyway, guys, have a good night. Well, wherever you are, maybe, but it's night here, so good night.